is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be doing a recap on my top 24 running back rankings. Some of the most controversial guys that I ranked that you guys did not agree with. We're going to be talking through them today. Once again, rocking with the new intro. Give it up for Ethan Lincoln in the comments down below. It is such an awesome graphic. I really appreciate that, so make sure to show some love to him. But let's go ahead and get right into it. The first guy we are going to be talking about, my number one running back for 2023 fantasy football, Bijan Robinson. I don't need to explain myself too much on why I have this guy ranked number one, because it's not any different than the reasons that you guys have him ranked top 3, top 5. Everyone knows why he's going to be good. He's in the top rushing volume offense in the NFL. He is getting immediately placed on one of the top offensive lines. There is no one else on that offense other than potentially Kyle Pitts or potentially Drake London. There's a terrible quarterback, which means they are going to rely on Bijan Robinson even more. He is going to get so much volume. That's why he's ranked number one. I do not care that he is a rookie. Number 2, Jonathan Taylor. Just because he's ranked number 2 right now does not mean that I'm confident drafting him. Let me say that right up front. As of this current state, with Jonathan Taylor declaring that he is going to look for a trade, and the Colts are now granting him that opportunity to request a trade, we are uncertain on Jonathan Taylor's future for the 2023 season. So as of now, I'm avoiding Jonathan Taylor unless the price is right. If I can get Jonathan Taylor in the early 3rd round, absolutely I'm taking him. That is a steal for a guy ranked as my number 2 overall running back. And I don't understand the argument of you guys saying, how in the world do you have Jonathan Taylor ranked number 2? How in the world did you guys have him ranked number 1 last year, and I'm not allowed to rank him in the top 2? That's outrageous. If injuries don't count, this is what I get. I predicted Jonathan Taylor would fall off last year. He had nowhere but down from 2021. It was impossible to repeat those numbers. I predicted an injury. I predicted a decline. He got injured and he busted. Yes, injuries count. If you get injured, you bust. That's the way fantasy works. I don't want to hear that argument. And if you say, no, Gage, injuries don't count, then why do you not have Jonathan Taylor as your number 1 overall running back this year if injuries don't count? Then you should give him that opportunity again, and he should be your number 1 running back. If injuries don't count, Cooper Kupp should be the number 1 overall pick this year. He should be the number 1 wide receiver. So do injuries count or do they not? Because you can't go halfway. Injuries count. If you're not scoring fantasy points, injuries count. That is the bottom line. As for Jonathan Taylor, if you had him ranked number 1 last year and you're picking him, it's not outrageous for me to rank him number 2 this year. So that is really hypocritical for the people that are saying that. Obviously, he's a workhorse running back with no committee. Obviously, he's by far the best player on that offense. He's with a rookie quarterback, which we tend to see rely on their running backs a bit more than most quarterbacks. So that's why I love Jonathan Taylor this year. The offense will fully revolve around him. Number 4 on my list, another controversial one with the same exact argument, Naji Harris. He's number 4 on my running back rankings. I don't want to hear that there's no way that he can finish this high this year. That is a stupid argument. In 2021, he finished at number 3. Now, I don't care about the past, but last year you guys had him ranked top 5 after he finished top 3 in 2021. So why is it ridiculous for me to rank him top 5 this year when you guys did it last year? But suddenly I get called outrageous for doing it. How does that make any sense? Explain that to me. His offensive scenario's only gotten better. He had a metal plate in his foot last year for the entire year. People forget about that. He played all the games through an injury with a metal plate in his foot. And with a quarterback controversy going back and forth and back and forth, obviously it was not going to be as good of a year as 2021. You're crazy if you expected it to be the same. But this year, things are different. They've solidified their QB in Kenny Pickett. He doesn't have a metal plate in his foot. Their offensive line is upgrading. They have chemistry together now. Everything is looking better for Naji Harris. And yet, I'm getting called outrageous for ranking him in the top 5. Don't be so hypocritical, you guys. Last year, you had him ranked in the top 5, so why is it outrageous for me to do it this year? That's my question. Number 8, Damien Pierce. He's a workhorse running back. He has no committee. He's the focal point of the offense. He's by far the best player on his team. They have a rookie quarterback. Again, we're going to keep reiterating this point, so they tend to rely on their running backs more. He is in such a good scenario to succeed. He's going to be a volume vulture. There is no reason to not be excited about Damien Pierce. I don't want to hear any other argument about that. The only reason you're upset about me ranking him this high is because he's ranked ahead of these two guys, that being Christian McCaffrey and that being Austin Eckler. Christian McCaffrey, for one, is not a workhorse running back, so I don't have any interest in him. Number two, that goes along with that, he's in a committee backfield with Elijah Mitchell. And people are saying, when he went to the 49ers last year, he was spectacular. Elijah Mitchell played a few games with him last year. Yeah, but he didn't do all of them, and there was a significant difference in the amount of carries he got last year when Elijah Mitchell was there compared to this year. But I don't care about last year, because if you get caught looking back at last year, you're always going to be behind the ball in this year. I'm looking ahead. I'm seeing into the future. They're going to use two running backs. That's the bottom line. You can't tell me that Elijah Mitchell isn't going to steal some work for Christian McCaffrey, because you and I both know that's true. We both know that he is. There are too many mouths to feed on that offense. You can't tell me that Deebo Samuel isn't going to get some goal line handoffs. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that Deebo, Ayuk, Kittle, Elijah Mitchell, Brock Purdy, and Christian McCaffrey are all going to need to be involved in that offense. They have to all be involved. That's why they're such a good football team. It's because they have so many weapons. That's not an arguable point. You can't tell me that CMC is going to get all the work. That's why I'm shying away from all these 49ers altogether, except for Elijah Mitchell, who's a guaranteed backup that you can get late in your drafts, who's going to get work. And on top of that, I don't want to hear that you can predict injuries. I don't care. Last year I predicted that Cooper Kupp would get injured because he was just getting force-fed over and over and over again, like 12 targets a game to start the year. And sure enough, he got hurt. It's not that hard to figure out. Christian McCaffrey has had injury issues in the past, so I'm not saying he's going to, but it is a lot more likely than other people. That's why I'm not drafting Christian McCaffrey. Certainly not with a number 1 overall pick. Austin Eckler, number 10 on my rankings. Gage, that's so crazy to rank him number 10. No, it's not. Listen to these arguments, and if you can say in the comments down below 3 reasons why I should draft Austin Eckler this year that don't have anything to do with his stats last year or his performances last year, then I'll listen to you. His entire situation this year is completely different. Both Mike Williams and Keenan Allen are back. That is the only reason he got so many targets last year. Both of those guys were hurt last year, so he got force-fed. He was the only good player on that offense. They also drafted Quentin Johnson, again, to have more targets away from Austin Eckler. They got a new offensive coordinator who has the intention of throwing the ball downfield, not throwing checkdowns. Herbert wants to throw the ball more downfield. He just got a bazillion-dollar extension to whip the ball down the field, not to throw checkdowns to Austin Eckler. Herbert is also going to hoard away goal line rushes here and there. That is like 5 reasons for this upcoming year, the one that is going to happen, that you should not draft Austin Eckler. I don't want to hear, how can you rank the guy who finished on top last year at number 10? I don't care about last year. Last year is not this year. You guys need to be ahead of the game, not in the past. You cannot control what happened last year. I can't either. But this year, I'm telling you, Austin Eckler is going to bust. I guarantee it. The last point that I'm going to make is the Jaguars' backfield. This was controversial. First off, people didn't like how low I was ranking Etienne. Etienne hasn't proven anything. He gets injured and he fumbles a lot. Both of those things, a lot. Last year, he was in the dream scenario to succeed on an up-and-coming offense, and he didn't do anything. He had weeks where he scored 0.3 points, several weeks where he scored 3 points in PPR. As a starting running back, you can't have that happen when you're relying on a guy to put up fantasy points, where he scores less than 3 points 3 different times. That's ridiculous. He was in such a good scenario to succeed. On top of that, Trevor Lawrence is going to score touchdowns near the goal line. We know this. They also drafted Tank Bigsby, not for him to sit on the bench, for him to be integrated right away. And Doug Peterson recently just said that Bigsby's role is going to increase more and more as time goes on. Why would you be excited about ETN in that scenario? Tell me that. Again, looking at Bigsby, this is all the more reason you should be excited for him. I had people saying, Gage, how do you have a backup running back ranked in your top 24? This is how. Because ETN is known for getting hurt. He's known for fumbling. If he gets hurt, obviously Bigsby's in. If he fumbles, he's going to fumble his job away to Bigsby. This is not that hard to see, you guys. Bigsby can clearly see a role in this offense and be a top 24 running back. I have no doubt about it. That's what I got for some of my controversial points on my top 24 running back rankings. Make sure to let me know in the comments down below what you think of this analysis, if you now are starting to see my perspective, or if you're still riding the train of the fact that I am an absolutely ridiculous analyst. I highly doubt it if you made it this far. But if you did make it this far, please make sure to leave a like and comment down below what you think. I really, really just enjoy hearing what you guys have to say, whether or not you agree or disagree with me. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. I respond to absolutely everything. If you got any questions for your drafts or this upcoming season, feel free to ask, and I am here to answer. That's all I got for this video. Stay tuned for more content. God bless.